What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Jungle Gap. Coach Leo here. So, a lot of people asking me, hey coach, in season 16, are there some secret moves that I can make to just get me to auto win the game? How can I gap, the enemy jungler like you? And to this, my answer is, well, there might be some secret pathing that, we're gonna have to stay tuned for. But like every other season, guys, fundamentals are going to be everything. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down a game that I played on Kindred, explaining each decision and the fundamentals on how I was able to giga gap the enemy jungler and pretty much 1v9 the game from there. Now, seeing as I am reviewing a Kindred game, the fundamentals are going to be a little higher level and will require you to have kind of a baseline knowledge for it to make sense. However, fundamentals, of course, apply to literally every single elo. So no matter what the level you are, this video will be extremely insane to learn from. So without further ado, let's get into it. If you don't know who I am, my name is Coach Leo. I am an ex-pro player and challenger jungler. And for the past year, I've been helping hundreds of players just like you achieve their rank goals. If reaching your potential is something you are interested in, head on over to junglegap.gg for more information. Alrighty guys, just so you know, this video is going to be in depth. I'm going to be explaining in quite a bit of detail. So, if you don't really have the attention span, unfortunately, this video is not going to be really for you. However, if you are looking to learn some high level jungling, some fundamentals that you can apply to every single game, some things, some decision-making, concepts that are really going to level up, how you have impact on your games, then, of course, this video is going to be for you. So, of course, as the title states, this is going to be how to completely gap the enemy jungler with fundamentals in Season 16. So, I'm just going to be going through, as you can see, this is like a fresh game of Season 16, around a Masters MMR game, and I'm playing Kindred into Gwen. And this was a pretty funny game because later on in the game, this new item for Gwen kind of popped off, which was a little bit scary. So let's just firstly, the very first timestamp that I want to go to, right? And the very first thing that I want to talk about is this idea of information, okay? This idea of information, this idea of playing off information, the idea of the minimap, and the idea of consistent updates. Okay, so, game is starting pretty quick, right? We got red buff spawning in 10 seconds already. So the very first piece of information that I even have to play off are these two wards, the enemy wards here and my team wards here, right? This is information, okay? I can't stress to you guys enough how important, make this minimap as big as you possibly need so you make sure you are looking at it, because the minimap is the most important thing. Obviously it's important for every single lane, but for jungle, it is your Bible. Like literally the minimap is everything, okay? So just, I'm not even like, I don't generally do these cheesing, plays and stuff like that, right? It's just the fact that because they warded, right? I am playing off information. I'm playing off the fact that now they have a false sense of security. They think that they have maybe this invade covered. Obviously, the Gwen can think that I can jump over the wall, right? But I'm playing off the fact that I saw Gwen and they don't see me. So obviously, either way, this invade works. But I see Gwen and I'm playing off the fact that they warded, okay? So this is the very first thing about playing off information and, being a little bit creative in a way that, okay, how can I use that information to my advantage? So that's just the very first decision here that's being made, right, in this game. And so obviously, the other plays that the game plays in a standard way. This is also a good kind of decision, right? Because the Riven versus Gnar lane, it's like Bard versus Sona, right? So this also goes into the fact of, I want to play in an area where potentially I could go for a level 3 gank on top, or in an area that I think is the highest chance for me to get a kill. Of course, first blood is like really, really good to try and go for. Now, obviously, it's always good to go for first blood. But as you can see, I'm constantly getting updates on the information, right? I'm constantly getting updates on, am I going to look for the top gank? Am I going to run and look to the dive here? Am I going to look for the top gank? Or am I just going to go back to my camps, right? So you guys have to remember, the game is alive, okay? You can't look top and then 20 seconds later, like not look top at all, and then it was actually a kill. Okay, you need to have constant updates, because the sooner you get information, the sooner you'll be able to make a plan, okay? The reason why I moved my entire camera here to actually check this Gwen is Gwen low, right? Is she half HP? What did she do, right? And of course, if she's full HP here, I'm a little bit, I'm chunked. My condition is not that good. So again, this idea of consistent updates. I see the minimap. So, you can even see this as like a minimap prompt, guys. This is the fundamental. The minimap is giving me a prompt here. This is why it's so important that you are looking here, okay? You need to be able to react to this very, very quickly and take this kill. You know, body language of Gnar as well. It's not like he was running back to tower. And in this situation, yeah, we pick up the free kill, and that is all because of the understanding that the game is alive, and that, you know, we are having consistent updates. We're looking at the map consistently. Information is king. Okay, so now the Gwen, you know, knows what happened, so I'm expecting her to invade here. So this comes to the very next fundamental. Okay, I want to ask you guys, like, what are the options here? What do you think? Like, you know, obviously there's the top scuttle. Obviously there's our raptors. It looks like Gwen is crossing. So right now, the information that you have, right? Conditions, body language, you know, you're thinking about what the Gwen is going to do. You're thinking about what your team is doing. You're thinking about the minimap here. You have a Bard. They have a Sona, right? So the next fundamental is what I like to call match or trade, okay? So the idea of this fundamental, okay, decision-making wise, this is the next big point in this game. Match or trade. So you should always match when you are stronger. And of course, the conditions to match the enemy is not only just your own conditions. So you could be 10-0, but obviously you can't match this bot scuttle if the enemy bot lane had just killed your bot lane and the enemy Sona is like roaming in river or whatever it is, right? The conditions need to be, you need to also have tempo. So like if I run to the bot side here for the bot scuttle, am I even going to be able to contest it, right? You need to, you know, I can't be on Krugs here and contest the bot scuttle. It's not going to work. I don't have enough tempo for that, right? And, you know, another condition is just, like I said before, better items, numbers advantage. So you need to be able to actually fight, right? If you want to match, but you should always match when you are stronger. So in this case, right, I could go to the top scuttle, I could go to my raptors, I could go to my Krugs, right? All these things are near me. However, I have an advantage. So if I have an advantage, if I have a Bard, if the enemy mid is 1 HP, if my mid is still alive, I want to trade, okay? This is very important about translating your lead, okay? Translating your lead here. You know, we're going to talk about this in a second as well. But translating your lead is match, okay? So when you want to trade, right, there's going to be examples in this game of trading. But you want to trade when you're weaker, right? Or, right, you can trade when you're stronger if you are getting a much better deal, which you'll also see in this VOD, right? You can trade. So for example, like if Gwen is only getting a Scuttle Crab here, right? As first spawning Scuttle Crab, but I'm getting her like 3 camps and she has nothing to trade on my bot side here. Of course, right? You don't need to match if, like I just said, the deal is good for you. Oh, I'll take 4 of your camps. You get 1 Scuttle Crab. Hey, that's okay with me, right? So that is also when it's okay to trade. But here, I don't want to just trade Scuttle Crabs, right? I have a better condition of a team. My team can, you know, impact this play. So of course, we want to go for this play. And, you know, this guy steps up, get a free kill here. Casson trying to, you know, help this Gwen's game. You know, draft also serves this, right? Like I have a Bard, they have a Sona. So I'm going to be generally matching a lot more because I have a Bard. And because, you know, the strengths of Bard is that he can roam, he can create a numbers advantage. And the weakness of Bard is that, you know, he doesn't scale as well as a Sona. So, you know, there's 2 different kind of, you know, win conditions here for both teams. Okay. So this next decision that's made here is recall. Okay. I want you guys to try and figure out like, okay, what is the thought process behind recalling here? You're so close to all your camps. This is even something I sometimes say. Okay, don't recall next to your camps, right? It's inefficient. Okay. However, there are some factors here. There's some information. Okay. I'm going to circle all the information. Okay. Wards, gold, and last bit of information we need to think about. What do we think Gwen will do out of base? Now, obviously, what does Gwen think I'm doing right now, right? Gwen thinks that I'm farming my bot side. And so this is exactly where that idea of translating your lead and you thinking about tempo is extremely important. So again, I want to match where Gwen is. Gwen thinks that I'm on my bot side. So Gwen thinks to trade. Okay, obviously we're getting into a little bit of mind games here. But this is seriously the level of, you know, like the jungle chess game, which a lot of people, you know, they really like. This is why people like jungle, I think, is because it's that chess move of like, okay, well, she thinks I'm going to do this and she also has fundamentals and she wants to trade. So what am I going to do? I'm obviously going to try and match her because I'm stronger. Okay. So basing here is a very good play because like I said before as well, we have wards, right? We have wards here. So it, you know, for whatever reason, if she just decides, okay, I'm going to go to my bot side and I want to go to his, you know, the Kindred's bot side camps, of course we have wards to cover that. So I can be reactionary. I can run to the top side here, see Gwen running in here and immediately just ping her and go and kill her. Okay. So This fundamental here is a little bit, if I just rewind just for a second, right? My bot side camps are safe because I have wards and because the Gwen thinks I'm on them, right? So that's the mind game you're playing here. She thinks I'm on them. She'll never go and attack them. What she will attack though is top gank, top scuttle, and my top side camps. Now, obviously she could also just go back to her bot side camps here and just clear up. That's an option for her. However, obviously I'm covering all bases here if I just recall and run to top side. Okay, and I even bought like Berserker Greaves here just because I wanted that extra move speed. I was feeling a little bit psychotic. Berserker Greaves Rush Kindred, something I used to do a lot actually, which is a little bit for fun. And so as we see here, she's here. I'm kind of trolling a little bit, honestly, by smiting it because, you know, I thought that I had tempo on her, that I could take this before she gets in. I was just trying to be efficient by last hitting it with E. But the main point here is that we are here, right? The main point here is that we are on the same side of the enemy jungler. You know, we want to be the same side contesting something neutral. So even if that's a Scuttle Crab here, you always want to be contesting something, matching something that's neutral, whether that be Dragon, Grubs, Scuttle, whatever it is, the neutral objective when you are stronger. Again, unless you're getting a way better deal. Okay. So yeah, we match here. I think she probably did take the Scuttle here. That's why she didn't have Smite. I kind of play it like a bit unky. Guys, in this game, let me tell you. You're going to see some unk mechanics, okay? Like, usually my Kindred's like not that bad, but I was like kind of inting this game mechanically. So yeah, that also proves, you know, fundamentally, of course, League is a fighting game, guys. Don't get me wrong. You can't only have a big brain. You also need to learn you also need to execute and fight. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Okay. So next decision, I'm going to pause. Okay. Look at the map. Look at the map and think about the next fundamental, okay? Which is, when the enemy jungler shows / dies, you always want to ask yourself this question. What can I take? Like, how can I use that information and what can I take here? So like, you know, on this map here, right, you could be thinking, all right, Gwen is dead for, you know, how long is she dead for? She's dead for 2 seconds and I have Smite. So I could go and take her Gromp here. I have enough tempo for that. I can go and take the Raptors here. I have enough tempo for that. So it's really important here that you don't just go back to default farming, even though, oh, I'm half HP here, or, you know, I guess this is a little bit Kindred specific as well. You know, if I was playing like a, honestly, actually no. If I was playing Lily here, I'll do the same thing. Obviously the mark is just juicy, right? I want to get the mark, but I could still take the Gromp here as well. Okay, so it's really important you take from the enemy. Now, I will say one thing about this, okay, since it needs some clarification, right? If I'm on Krugs here, and I have all 3 camps here to farm, right? Or even if I'm on red, and I see the enemy jungler show somewhere, and I know that like her Krugs are up, don't be inefficient or too inefficient to take something, okay? So obviously, don't run across the map when you could have farmed 4 of your camps in the time it takes maybe 1 of her camps, okay? That is something that needs clarification that some people that I coach get a little bit confused about. Obviously, efficiency is always something you're going to be thinking about. I will talk about the next thing, which is, you know, cluster farming, which we'll get to. This is something else which kind of ties into what I'm talking about here. But yeah, look for what you can take. TLDR, look for what you can take. Ping it, get your team to you know, move to it, get there as fast as you possibly can. And then, yeah, you're looking for what you can take. Now, you need to think about how much can I take? Can I go for a Krugs here, right? Am I going to cross back to the top side and go for a Gromp? No. I only have enough time to take 1 camp because we need to remember about her tempo, right? Her tempo. She's spawning in 1 second. She's going to be absolutely beelining it here, right? She's going to be, so this is going to take some repetition as well. Like, how much can I take? You know, your tempo assessment here needs to be good. You know, some games you're going to get caught here. Many games I've been caught here. Try and fail is all good. Okay. Don't think, oh, I'm too scared or I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah. Coach here may be telling you to interview a few situations, but if you think you can do it, if you think you can win a fight, push limits, okay? Very important thing to know. A lot of YouTube content online is going to tell you, I don't know, like play safe, whatever. Now, I think you need to push and you need to learn and you need to get the reps in of those scenarios. Now, next thing that here, okay? Let me just go back real quick. So, we now know the information on the minimap is that Gwen is going to her Krugs, okay? So she's going this way. All right, we know that for sure. We can see that. Bot has push, okay? So the next thing here, we've just done the tempo and translating a lead, right? Like, we've just done translating a lead. We've defended our topside camps. We were stronger. We killed her. We pushed our advantage, right? Now, about maintaining our lead. So it's going to be very, very, very rare that you were just able to attack, because guess what? The enemy just based and they have spent gold and they have a better condition than you. Look at my condition here. Okay. So of course, if you can match all game, right? If you can just match attack, win, invade. Yes, of course you do it, but it's going to be very rare. Okay. So there's going to be a time where you're going to go back and just maintain your lead. There's going to be a time where invading her Krugs here is super boosted. There's going to be a time where going for this bot gank is super boosted because both of those plays, right? It's kind of like you're collecting your reward now, right? You've defended or like you've taken some of her camps. Now you're looking to just, like what I said before, is about cluster farming, okay? So I have a big cluster here, my entire blue side, right? So I don't really want to be doing like some marathon running around anymore. Now, because I have nothing that I think, okay, 100% I can take this. And that example before, right? You don't want to run across the map here and like go for her Gromp or something. Not only is that like, okay, she might just run in here and invade your bot side. Just maintain your lead here. Just farm, okay? So here, we just want to farm our blue side camps. Now, does this mean that we play lock screen full zoomed in and we don't update ourselves on what's happening anymore? No. So hopefully I do a camera pan bot here in a second as I'm talking about this, because you still need to update yourself on, is there an opportunity bot here before I leave this to go to my Gromp, to go to my Wolves? And I think I was updating more before here. When I was watching this, I was updating, but if there was a play bot, so let me just double check here. But yeah, I need to be updating more. Like, is the bot lane situation? I kind of know here that I don't want to go for the bot gank because obviously Gwen could be there. Okay, so I didn't update that much. They were very quick F keys. So yeah, make sure you are still not just having your eyes closed. All right. So after we take the Wolves here, right? Let's pause. Let's pause right here. Okay, so the thing we have to think about is, what is Gwen doing? Tempo assessment, right? We've just cleared our entire blue side and she only had Krugs, right? So obviously it's going to be very unrealistic to attack here, right? We can all see that. It's going to be unrealistic just because she's going to take Krugs, she's going to base. We don't have the tempo to attack. So what should we do here? We have 1,000 gold. We have not much to do on the map. We have Krugs. So I think Krugs and basing is acceptable, okay? But I make a big mistake here, okay? I just decide, hey, good idea. Let's just run and keep it pushing. So you can see here that even myself, as I review this game, I'm thinking, okay, I didn't have enough tempo for this. I didn't have a guaranteed play here topside for this. So why am I gambling here, right? This is like the review point when I'm reviewing this game. And you know, obviously the topside stuff is gone because the Gwen has not been AFK, okay? So, you know, this is also going to happen, right? Oh, I get a kill top here. It was a good play. No, like when I made that decision to stay off of Wolves, like again, I think going to Krugs is fine. But this is a play that can result in a good thing, but it's not going to be consistent over 100 games, okay? So again, yeah, if I checked here on Wolves, oh, I think I can 100% kill Dinar. Okay, sure. You know, you can look for that. But that was definitely not the case here, as you can see. So Sona turns up, okay? Next big fundamental, guys. Next big fundamentals. Yeah. I should have, yeah. Spot the mistake, right? So at 5:46 in-game here when Sona shows up topside, okay? The Nar kill looks very juicy, okay? Like, this is where you really need to think a little bit deeper and a little bit, you know, better in terms of fundamentals. So we have no information of Gwen, okay? And the main fundamental to learn here is something that I like to call, it's a team resource game. So a plus and a minus, okay? So Sona is top, right? So Sona is top. That's a plus because my support is bot side, all right? So they have a plus top. We have a minus, they have a minus bot side, sorry, and we have a plus bot. So right now, Bard will get something, or you kind of have to hope that the Bard will do something because the Sona is using a move here. So moves work for everyone, not just jungle. So if Sona uses a move here, what should we do? We should do a minus and they should do a plus. And on the bot side, we should do a plus and the enemy is doing a minus. So this is just how you want to think about team resource game. You want to think, okay, if their support is roaming towards the grubs here, I should trade or minimize, okay? So, and I'm just going to play it out here. So I still go for the play. I play it pretty unky as well, right? I just give this Nara hop. Sona has heal. It becomes very, very, again, a bad play because Gwen could be here, right? I'm not sure where Gwen is, but she should be here. And yeah, we just shouldn't go for this play. We should just minimize. And of course, Gwen shows up. I had no idea where Gwen was. So this is why this was a very bad play. I told you guys this game was, it wasn't, this game is not me just playing perfectly. It's also me reviewing my own mistakes with these fundamentals. Cassidy also shows up. So they have a really, really big plus here. And this was a really big mistake. And, you're only as, playing when you are ahead and when you have the resource and when you have numbers is actually the easy part. The hard part about League of Legends is actually playing the minus. It's actually playing the minimize. It's actually playing the trade. Okay, that really is what separates, for me, when I review someone, a good player and a bad player. Or a good player and an average player. Okay, so you can see a drastic throw here in terms of like, if we just press tab for a second here, my lead, I kind of just threw it, right? I threw my lead here really, really badly because I was just playing, whatever. Let's just go for it. Okay. Limit testing is good. Thought I could kill now. It's all good. Now I can learn, okay, Sona has heal. Sona does this. Can't go for it next time. More information needs to be gathered here. So one important thing when you die is you need to ask yourself, what's next? Okay. Try and not dwell too much. Try and not review the mistake when you're dead. Very, very bad to do that because again, the game is alive. There's information on the map. It's alive, right? The game is still playing. The game is not paused here just because you're dead. So you need to think here, okay, what's next? Okay, what information do we have, right? This is what you need to think. So at 6:05, you're looking at the map here, right? Gwen is obviously going to be able to take the top scuttle, right? And you still want to match and you still want to take your top side camps and you kind of want to just clear to the next objective. Obviously, there's nothing much to do here. You just want to take camps, okay? So, and there's also another what's next that's coming up. So we just go to the top side here. We take the red buff. Should not, again, another mistake here. There's no reason to look for the scuttle here. Of course, it's gone. Okay, it's cope. I'm coping. So my what's next here was not that good. Or at least my tempo assessment was not that good in terms of him taking scuttle. And you can still see I'm in attack mode here, which is awful. Okay, it's super bad to still be in attack mode here. And this is like the hard part, obviously, about jungling. The creativity versus like fundamentals, like playing kind of by feel and playing fundamentally. I think you do need a bit of both. I think you need a bit of a yin and a yang. But however, the Sona is mid, right? We're getting a plus here. We're getting a plus here. They have a plus here. We shouldn't be looking for stuff topside. All I needed to do here is just clear down and play towards my plus. And then, because then I'll be able to make a move here, which you'll see in a second. So it works the same way for the enemy as well, right? The enemy makes a play mid. Okay, and if we pause at 7 minutes here, take a look at the information, right? When your team gets ganked, I can't stress it enough as well, that you need to move your minimap there, okay? So many times where I'm looking and I'm coaching players and I'm like, okay, you need to move your camera here. You need to move it here because I need to know conditions. Those conditions of the enemy here are really going to change the way I think about my next play. If their conditions are all really, really great here, right? I'm just going to go back and farm my camps or I'm going to continue farming his camps. If their conditions are bad here, guess what? Back to that fundamental of match or trade. If their conditions are bad, we can match on the bot side. We can invade the bot side camps because, again, my Bard will have a move, right? My Bard will have a plus because Sona is just roaming, right? She's roaming a lot. Guess what? That frees up Bard. And I know I said before, Bard should be like roaming or whatever. Hey, guess what? Sometimes the Sona will roam and the game's not exactly how you thought, which is why you need to also adapt. Adapt to what you're seeing. Okay, so adaptation here. Pause. Cassidy, 1 HP. Enemy using a big move here. Bard will now have a move, so we have an advantage, right? Nothing left for me to really take topside, and I think that I have enough tempo because Gwen used that move mid to match, right? To play off that information. And you can see the pings here as well. Like I'm spam pinging my Bard now. I'm like, hey Bard, your time to shine, buddy. I know you haven't been roaming for the past like 2 minutes and Sona's been everywhere. Hey, time to use that move. And it happens. We get here on time. We kill the Gwen. And the game is kind of back to us, gapping the Gwen and being able to take her bot side here. However, I'm playing a little bit like a psychopath here. And the reason why I'm doing this is just because, again, when you have an advantage, the Gwen is dead, right? I want to pressure it more and I feel strong here. So I fight. So I will say again, guys, if you feel like you can win The only way you will ever learn about how much damage you do or what limits you can really push. Of course, I'm not telling you guys to 1 HP invade, right? And disrespect everything, right? You're not going to learn from that. You are going to learn from this situation, right? Oh, like, Aphelios, beats me out here, or I don't do enough damage here, or, with these attack speed items, I just don't have a lot of AD and I just don't do a lot of damage. And the more you limit test and things like this, it's very, very important to limit test. Okay, so that's also a big part of this. To get to that next level of play, we need reps, we need experience, we need to know how much damage we do. Of course, the correct play here probably would have just been to go for caps. Thinking about the Kassadin's tempo as well is important. And again, we die, we ask what's next. We die, we ask what's next. Okay, what's next on the map? The grubs are spawning. And we want to also just clear from top to bot. Gwen and my tempo are even. They're just completely even here. And I think this is a Kindred thing, obviously. But I think in a regular game, I would just ping the Bard here to roam to go to grubs. But Kindred specific, right? I'm nearly on 7 marks. And if you know anything about Kindred, 7 marks is a really, really big spike. So this is where I'm happy to actually trade, like the deal that I'm getting. I'm happy to trade over matching, okay? Over matching the Gwen. Gwen, I'm expecting to clear down. She's expecting me to clear down. We ask ourselves what's next. We're going to the top side. This spawns. We adapt. Again, fundamentally, the minimap. Look at the minimap and adapt. Okay? I think I should have pinked that Phalite. Okay, fundamental as well. Whenever you're running into the enemy jungle, make sure you use sweeper. Okay, that's just fundamental 101. They see me here. So whenever they see you as well, you should expect everyone to run at you, okay? Which is what happens. Kindred, again, if you don't push limits like this, you'll never know, okay? You'll never know what is possible for your character. And it's important to know, it's important to make a play like this, where you just, regardless of if they see you, you know that you're safe because I can jump back over the wall, okay? And the next fundamental, guys, we're moving on to, which is just weak side, strong side. Okay, so now the map is kind of told us what's happening. Okay, obviously Gwen can still come back here, right? But if Gwen is not here now on any of this vision, the game has now become, this is our weak side because Gwen is there, and this is our strong side, right? So weak side, strong side. So when you're on the strong side, you want to make sure that you fight, and you want to make sure that, which we'll come to next, which is just, it's like the map has been found out now. It's a split map now. Like, she's going to take this stuff, I'm going to take this stuff. And unless you think, right, and a fight happens here. Guys, we probably should have chased the no flash Aphelios, which I could have pinged, honestly, more, because I knew he had no flash, rather than the Kassadin, hard champion to kill. So the thing about weak side, strong side is that, again, I'm happy taking the Mark and the Drake and her camps for the the grubs and my topside camps. It's really, really bad to try and chase the Gwen now topside, because again, you're going to be like chasing her tail, right? So unless you know 100% that you can stop her from taking the topside camp. So let's say like Drake wasn't an option here, Scuttle wasn't an option, and you have nothing to do bot side. If you know 100% you can like chase her up here, then sure, but you should just accept it here. It would be really, really bad, right? Is if I try and cross now and she just takes my raptors and I'm like kind of chasing her tail to the grubs. And also generally on the weak side, right? They're going to have 2 people. Obviously this had nothing to do with Riven getting solo killed, but just play on the strong side. And the strong side can be whatever, like, wherever. The strong side is where you think, again, you can translate your lead and where you can be the diff. And the Sona and the Aphelios having no flash, a bit easier to kill than enough in this situation. All right, and so now it comes to a round where I actually just clear my camps. And, something that I see very, very common mistake, guys, is when you're ahead, you try and win too hard. Okay, this is a very common thing that I see. So I just want to let you guys know that, it's okay to just do nothing when there is no information. So what I mean by that is like, if there's no information, if the bot doesn't look like free kills, there's no camps to take, it's okay to like just farm. What I mean by like do nothing is just farm. Okay, until something happens. So, League of Legends is just a game of, you should cycle your camps and you should just clear your camps until there is a play that gives you more gold than doing that, right? In terms of like high percentage. You know, you don't want to just be gambling 24/7. Of course, I could have gone bot there. Maybe Aphelios dies 1 game out of 10 and great, right? But it's not a consistent thing. You need to be playing off information. Playing off information, like I said before, playing off the map. What is the map telling you? Okay, the map is telling me here that, right, there's nothing. My top side is gone. We know that now. Krugs, Raptors are gone. And this is a little bit about spare tempo, using your spare time. So I don't really want to base just yet, right? I could base, honestly, but, you know, we're using our spare time here. Sweeping in. We still have an advantage. I'm still stronger. So again, we're back to, I mean, this is obviously not planned, right? However, I just have spare time because I have nothing else to do right now. So when you do have spare time, this is actually kind of important. When you do have spare time, get information, clear wards. You know, you don't always have to be getting a kill in the spare time. You can base. Basing would be great here in terms of like the spare time. I think basing here is a better play than what I'm doing. But even just doing stuff like this, sweeping the vision, catching someone out, maybe I gank mid there and I chunk Casson to 1 HP. Again, because I have no camps to farm, it is an okay way to use my time, right? And if I did have camps to farm, right? If I had my entire topside to farm and I went into a topside and I chunked her, but I didn't get any camps, you guys can see how that play would not be as good as just farming my topside. So that's something that you have to think about. Like when you have camps up, it kind of needs to be a kill or like a guaranteed play for her camps or an objective. And if you don't have camps to farm, then you can clear vision, you know, you can do more like what I like to call them spare tempo jobs, spare time jobs. And just, you know, I also like to call this fundamental of, I like to call this jungle priority. Okay, jungle priority is like you running into the enemy jungle, forcing the enemy jungle out, and then their laners can't play. So, you know, I have jungle prior here because I forced Gwen away. You know, it's like Echo versus Casson in mid as well. And so this play was, I know I just talked about not overforcing plays, but it just, because we had spare time, this play just got created out of nothing. I got the Grump as well. And so, you know, plays like this will just happen, right? And you got to be looking to, okay, what's next to do on the map? Like, okay, it doesn't really look like much, but Mini Naya is very easy to dive, you know, 3-man. So yeah, this is just a small thing. Obviously, this is a little bit specific. This is not like fundamentals for every single game. Something that is very important here though, that I did not do, which is the same as before. When you are making a play, now topside is my strong side, right? And so every time that you make a play on the strong side, if Gwen or the enemy jungle or the enemy team are not here, guess what is probably happening? They're trying to do a cross map, right? They're trying to trade. The Gwen is making a good play here. Hey, I can't do anything here. I'm going to go try and do something here. I'm going to try and invade here. So anytime that you make a play here, like I have not, like once I kill this guy, the fundamental here is immediately look at the minimap. Okay, immediately. I kind of got baited here because we have pretty good information, but I think she like, I don't know where she just went from base, I guess. Ping your weak side. When you make a play on the strong side, ping your weak side. So before when I made a play bot, right, and my Riven died, ping your weak side. Make a play on the strong side, back ping your weak side. Ping on the way on your strong side. So on the way, let's dive now. Back bot. Super important way to communicate. So we're getting into, well, we're getting close to the mid game point, right? So I'm gonna just fast forward a little bit because otherwise I'm gonna be just repeating myself in these fundamentals. I don't want this to go for like an hour, but I want to get to the mid game. Okay. Again, it's okay to just farm here. So, you know, out of base here, you know, can I match this? Like, no, of course I don't have enough tempo. So it is okay to farm. However, let's think about this for a second. Let's pause here, right? Let's pause here and 1150 minimap. So I know I just said it's okay to farm here, right? Trick question for even me here. It's okay to farm, but however, this is information. This is information. This is information. We want to contest neutral things. We want to use the fact that we know she's going for this. We cannot get to here in time, tempo-wise, but we can use that information to go and take a blue. Okay, so the game is alive, guys. The previous round we full cleared because we had no information to play off. This round, we saw Gwen bot side and we know her blue and top scuttle is alive. So we play off that information. It's very important to look at the minimap because you may miss that. And that can change a lot. You know, you just denying 2 camps here. Again, it's +8. +8. You know, -8 to her as well. Okay. And again, constant updates. Look, this is a situation where should we just force a play on this Mega? Of course not, right? I have all camps now up. We want to maintain the lead now. We want to maintain the lead. We took her camps. We took the neutral camps. Now we want to make sure that she doesn't get our bot side camps because we have no play here, right? And this is a time where I would like skip my Krugs and just go to the bot side because, you know, I want to just be on the bot side in case, not in case, but in position for something to happen. And also her taking my Krugs is like very unlikely or inefficient for her. All right, so let's skip forwards. I want to get to the mid game now, and I want to talk about the mid game. Again, like I said before, spare time, spare tempo. I've got nothing else to do here. I could base, but even if we just get Aphelios' flash here, I think this guy's flash was down. Even if we just get his flash here, it's good. It's a good use of my time because, you know, I didn't have camps to farm. Little stutter on the Sona ult. You know, you got to think about the execution. Like I said before, it's just as important. And when you have this advantage, you know, you really want to. So this time I actually did ping my weak side. Great. Good job, me. We make a play on the strong side. Wherever you are, by the way, or wherever you have numbers is the strong side. So we ping, hey, careful, weak side. Make a play strong side. Look at the map. Ping the weak side. Okay, she actually did go for my Krugs. I should have done my Krugs, I guess. I actually should have done my Krugs, yeah. And yeah, this is just a little bit of reacting to the minimap again. We see them fighting mid. I'm checking camps. We see Kasten flash forwards. So the map is alive. I think if there was no play mid here, we would just press B. Right? Then as soon as we do this, yeah, we take a plate here and we should look top. We look top. Okay, and then there's something else happening top side. So we'll just watch for a second. I like to call this a click and pan, guys. This is something I teach. The click and pan, okay? So when you are running to a play, all right, my camera is here right now, but I need information here again. So I'm going to click, right click, click, and pan. Click and pan. So something is happening. Ready? One more time. Something is happening top. I should click here and pan. Click, pan. So you can just left click, right click, basically. Left click, so your character starts running here. And then as you run here, this is like time for you to analyze. Analyze, analyze, analyze. Or maybe it looks bad here and you turn around. Maybe it looks bad here and you turn around. So the earlier the information that you have, because right now, the reason why you want to click straight away is because you want to be already reacting. So if you see a fight, click there, and then pan, and then see, oh, it doesn't look good. Look, my Riven died. Immediately turn to the Sona. Click and pan. Looks bad, looks good. Looks good, run there, looks bad, do something else, take our camps, whatever. Okay? And again, still, even though I'm taking the Gromp here, keep your eyes open. Because when they make a play top here, when the enemy Gwen and the Gnar make a play top here, there's always a chance that, oh, like Riven chunked them out, or they're low, or their condition is bad, or they're out of mana. So it's always something that you can play off, even if it's not, you know, being there to save Riven or being there to be there exactly when the play is happening. All right, so hopefully we press B now. Press B. Good. All right, nice. Good job, me. So yeah, of course, you always want to just base here because there's nothing in proximity for you to farm and you have a lot of gold and you want to play for the next objective. All right. So mid game has begun now, okay? And this is where I will talk a little bit about uptime, downtime. And I will talk about how to translate this lead. So, you know, obviously this game is, you know, it's up to me to win or lose. Like, obviously we're winning as a team, but they still have a Kasten and a Sona, right? So it's important that you don't throw here, which I actually end up some interesting plays. But let's see. Okay, so immediately running past all camps here because, you know, we want to play uptime. And what does uptime mean, right? Uptime is we got to draw tempo lines on our team. This guy's tempo line is here. So if we draw it across the map, this guy's tempo line is here. Bard's tempo line is here. Riven's tempo line is here. So you want to be, again, matching when you're stronger, contesting. I want to contest Krugs. I want to contest Raptors. I want to contest Drake. I want to take in the uptime. Okay? We want to protect waves in the uptime as well. We want to shadow like the Riven pushing bot out here. Because if we can do that while taking camps, it's great because we get bot push. We get to sit in the enemy jungle. I mean, this is a big reason. This is the big reason of this is just because they were dead. All right, we get to put vision down, and if we're able to put vision down here, we're able to push out waves. We're able to get control. We're able to take camps. This is how you snowball the game. Oh, this is how you translate your lead in the mid game. Okay, so a little bit of we're going to be talking about mid game a little bit in depth here. You just got to be careful about when the enemy team spawn. Okay, once they spawn. So big thing here as well. Okay, my marker's on the Drake, so I think I'm a little bit too eager for it. Okay, but we should stay here. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing on this dragon here. We need to hit this bot tower, coach. Okay, what are we doing? Okay, so you need to think about the biggest win. Okay, this is the way I like to phrase it. The biggest win here, and even in season 16 with plates, is that we should be hitting the towers first and then exiting the dragon. Like, we should get the dragon on the way out, because the job's not done here, basically. Like, we should hit towers here. Honestly, actually, in season 16, I think with plates, because towers are a little bit tankier, the more people hitting the tower, actually, maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe splitting the resources, this is something I guess we're just gonna have to figure out. But previously, usually you just hitting tier 2 towers was good. But I think now maybe splitting the resources is better. Okay, I'm not sure about this yet, okay? Look, I don't know everything, all right? But I think generally you want to have a max win. And I also think having 4 people hitting a bot tower gives it insane resistances. And maybe spreading the resources in this season is correct. Okay, so perfect. We just played uptime. Guess what it is now? Now it is downtime. Now we do not want to be in their jungle. We don't want to be hitting this tower, because guess what? Once you make a play like this, everyone has a lot of gold and everyone wants to reset. Everyone wants to usually buy, okay? And your team will mess up the tempo lines a lot, but watch it. Whole team basing, okay? You'll have 2 options here: farm or base with them. You must do, or you cannot do both. You cannot farm here and then base when they're all up. That is a sin, because you need to be in position for the uptime, okay? So look here. In this occasion, even though I have 1400 gold, I stay because I want to match my team's tempo line. You guys see this? The reason we want to match the tempo line, imagine if I was in base now and my Riven gets ganked by Gwen. Guess what? I have no trade for that because I was in base. So this idea of uptime, downtime is extremely important. And there are some nuances to it, which is sometimes in the uptime, you will still farm your own camps, okay? I'm not saying that no matter what, you always must play up. This is also when you're winning the game as well, okay? When you're winning the game, this is like how to close the game out. When the game is even or behind, right? Yes, you can still farm your camps. The main thing you need to think about is, can we take something, right? So if my Riven gets ganked here, obviously, even if you're even or behind, you can still take something. But the idea is that you can take something. We can take enemy camps. We can take the Rift Herald. Again, this is why you want to be here. You want to be here taking this in case a fight like this happens. And now, if this fight is any closer, right? So it doesn't mean you have to fight. Again, you need to click and pan. I'm almost finished with the Rift here, which is why we need to finish the Rift. But you need to watch, and we need to now analyze, does this look good? Does this look bad? Because just because you're playing uptime, you want to fight, but it doesn't mean you should always fight, right? Like, I want to fight here, but my Echo died. So guess what? It is what it is. And we should just go back to our camps, right? We shouldn't stay in their jungle here. We shouldn't stay playing uptime, even though I go back to it because I have information. We should not stay playing uptime here because why? Because they have numbers now. And this is always a chance for you to throw, okay? Going back here, look, 3 people, right? 3 people versus, well, it's 3v3 still. However, there's someone missing, right? Because they should have, who is missing? The ADC. Yeah, the ADC is somewhere. So it's super important to think about that. Now when I see Gwen leave, I go back. And then I see Gwen stay. So, and I don't really have anything else to do here. This would have been a really great time to base. Right here. Okay? But I'm a greedy pig. So, however, the more you know about uptime, downtime, the more you can play with information like this. The more you can think, okay, you just need to think about numbers essentially. You can push limits, but as you can see here, this is throw zone. Okay? This is where you throw games. This is not great. I should base it. That's what I call throw zone. Okay. So, again, same thing as before. When the enemy are dead, Okay, tell me, how many of you guys would just base, right? Because you have so much gold. Okay, you need to play for the max win. Play for the max win. So the max win is they have 3 dead. If they have 3 dead, I don't care if you have 10,000 gold here. You know, you need to take more. Take the camps, take the towers. The best time to use Rift Herald, by the way, is when the enemy are dead. Or the enemy are like 5-man ganking my Riven right now, right? You want to use Rift Herald where the enemies are not. And, you know, little tip about Rift Herald as well is that you need to not go for the next tower here, but still go for tier 2s. So, you know, I see that my Jinx killed mid. And I think this is probably where I int or throw it. No, actually no. This is where we get out, but I should not have hopped in that Rift Herald. That was pretty grief. So yeah, again, we're getting to throw territory. We're getting to just, this is just super bad. This is where you'll throw games, but it's also that fine line of, hey, I'm kind of smurfing it. Well, you're just gonna have to figure that one out, right? If I lost the game because of these kind of plays, like in their blue side and here, because I'm not thinking about uptime, downtime, guys. That's it. Like here, my Riven died and my Jinx is in base. So they have more numbers. Look, my Riven's tempo line is here because she's dead. My Jinx's tempo line is here because she's doing the right play, which is basing. And I'm griefing. Okay, but if you can charge 2 towers, do it. Okay, and then we win the fight. So again, the 10k gold incident. Take camps. Take camps. Take camps. Take camps. Take camps. Greed. Greed. I cannot stress enough this, honestly. Greed. So you need to have fundamentals, but you also need to know, how can I just get an insane amount of gold? And, you know, sometimes when people ask me like, oh, like, how would a challenger player have won this game? It's these kinds of situations. Okay, it's these kinds of like, how did he just do that? He just got top tier 2, bot tier 2, a kill, and the entire enemy jungle. So now I have 0.4k gold. Okay. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, I was looking for it. Throw zone. Okay. This is the #1 way you throw the game. I just get greedy pig. Okay, so you need to have a good level of what can we learn from this? You need to have a good level of greed. Okay, this is too much. Loki, I think. I don't know. Did I get baited by Echo here? I was honestly just a little bit. Okay, so I was a little bit surprised here, honestly, by this damage. Like this guy's item here. This build on Gwen looked a little bit busted to me, but also Gwen is just good into Kindred because I have to play into literally melee range. So, yep, no ult, no flash. This time, I finally, thank goodness I finally died here. I was actually like so angry at myself, I think. Greedy pig. All right. You guys get the idea, okay? I actually die. Yeah, disaster. Like literally if I lose this game because of this, it's my fault, okay? It's my fault. I have to take accountability. I have to learn, hey, how about you learn your uptime, downtime? Because you can see here, even though the guy that's teaching you, this is something you'll work on forever. Okay, you will work on uptime, downtime for as long as you play this game. And you'll work on when should I be greedy? When should I, you know, do these kinds of plays? Oh my goodness, look how disgusting this champion is. I'll show you guys this, okay? I don't want to show you guys this, but I'm just dead. Okay, I'm gonna have to try this Gwen build because I think this is low-key broken. This new item is like perfect for Gwen. This thing. It's a perfect Gwen item. I tried it on Diana. It's not that great. Okay, so I stopped griefing. We play uptime, downtime. Again, like here, right? My team is all playing the game, so I also need to play the game. We need to ping Baron. When we get Baron, let me show you guys the last kind of closing them out with Baron play. Look, my team is basing here, so I finally learn from my mistakes. So I don't grief. Now my Riven is spawning. So remember, you only need to match kind of like the last person that bases, okay? So because this guy was the last person that spawned and he does not, actually no, he has TP now. So never mind, he has TP. So honestly, I could have stayed there. The last reason why you can also desync a little bit, okay? I will give you this, is that if it's for a big item, like if you need like that Krugs for IE, if you need that extra bit to desync your tempo, it is okay, but it needs to just be for a good reason, because you got to realize here that you're griefing everyone. I'm griefing Echo. I'm griefing everyone else. I am griefing here because now they cannot play because I based. That's just what you have to realize. So, you know, ping your item, right? Let them at least know, hey, I'm buying an Infinity Edge here. So chill. Back ping them and whatever. Okay, immediate uptime. Okay, guys? Do not farm your camps here. Look, let me play it for you. I got to play what I do good as well, okay? I got to play where I have I'm doing the right thing. So why do we skip camps here? Okay, because it's uptime. You can see even in this chaotic game that following uptime downtime is extremely like accurate in terms of how you should play. Okay, so why are we skipping camps here? Because we want to protect the bot wave. We want to push. We want to make it so we like the most important thing in the mid game is pushing all these waves in like this. So whether you're taking wolves here and you're sitting in between your team here, whether you're taking red here and you're sitting in between these two, you want to be sitting in between in the jungle, taking the camps, hovering, shadowing while your team pushes. So if anyone touches the wave, you know, you can kill them. And we push and we end. All right. So all the griefs aside, I hope you guys were able to learn something from this video, especially in the early game. Some of those fundamentals you will apply to every single game. Uptime, downtime, you will apply to every single game as well. So yeah, leave a like, leave a comment, consider dropping a sub, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. There's a lot of content. Season 16, pretty hype. So I'll see you all there. Peace.